Welcome back to Solomon's Porch with your host Jason,
And Shawn.
and we're here to do a one-shot review of Wandavision. Episodes 1 and 2 have released today, and
Yep.
wanted to give our thoughts. My wife, we watched it early this morning. It was interesting because we had a lot of stuff we had to get done today, and I was trying to figure out when her and I would have the time to watch it together because I knew she wanted to watch it. And we were
Right.
both up at like 5 o'clock, so I was like, "Hey, before kids get up, let's go ahead and watch them." So we watched them early this morning, and then right before you and I began this, my wife put it on again. She wanted to watch it, so I sat down and watched the first episode with her one more time. And I gotta say, man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And so this is our good, bad, and ugly. Essentially, we're going to cover some of the good things that we liked, some of the bad things, and then some of the ugly things. And I gotta be honest, I felt almost opposite with this than I did Wonder Woman 84 for different reasons. So,
Okay.
anyway, how you want to start it off, man? Well, I'll tell you what, let's give an overview of what this is. So, this show, WandaVision, is supposed to be finally the story of Wanda Maximoff because you didn't get a whole lot of her story and you didn't really see her grieve her brother. So, that's supposed to be coming. She lost Vision, who she loved. And so, this story is ideally, from what we know, it's her kind of doing her own thing in her own mind to create the type of relationship she wanted to have with Vision. And it's kind of set place in the same type of time and shared the elements of older TV shows. So the first episode was very similar to, if I'm not mistaken, I Love Lucy. They had some
Dick Van
Bewitched,
Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke. There was an element of Twilight Zone slash Alfred Hitchcock, is what somebody had said. As far as the choking scene, probably not Alfred Hitchcock, but the Twilight Zone, I could kind of sort of see that because there was a weird element at the dinner table in the first episode.
Nah.
And no, you don't think so? Well, it
Nah.
didn't fit any of the other type of shows they were imitating. So I get. Is there anything I'm missing overview wise that you would say?
Well, as you were saying, I think the important part with this show to remember is that this is evidently taking place inside her mind. So this isn't based in any kind of reality. And so when, like the example of the dinner table scene, is that it's
Oh,
it's
spoilers!
her.
Spoilers! Just FYI. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. If we're giving a review, you should expect that it's going to be a spoiler.
Absolutely.
So it is her coming to terms with some level of reality of moving, idyllic lifestyle within this TV show and saying, I understand, Viz, you can do these things. I need you to do this now. I need you to be who you ultimately are instead of me sort of suppressing some of this and living in a fantasy kind of environment. That's the only sort of thing I would kind of clear up about that. It's that process.
Okay. Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and get started with the good?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I had a lot of goods. The I would say it's definitely different from anything we've seen in the MCU thus far, which I appreciate. It's something different. It gives you not the traditional MCU feel, so it's completely I don't know, different. But I enjoyed the comedy. It still made me laugh, even though it was supposed to be kind of cheesy, like the older stuff. It still made me laugh. Like I had a lot of chuckles in it. I thought it was interesting and clever, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I think the the coworker situation with Vision. That's the only thing to me that I wasn't entirely sure about, and we'll talk about that during the bad part, I guess. But let me see. We're covering both episodes. I really enjoyed the talent show portion of the second episode. I thought that was
Hmm.
funny and clever. Seeing when Vision actually eats something. That was something that they kind of referenced a lot in this was, him not eating and things like that. The subtle introduction of what most is assuming to be a villain of the next door neighbor. Her knowing a little bit too much, her making small references like the snap, and that's kind of trifold. Like she can do whatever she needs to do in a snap, like prepare supper in a snap, and then the snap from Infinity Ward Endgame. Not sure if that was as much a reference to that, but then there were other things that she was saying, that the neighbor was saying, Agnes, that really you felt like, yeah, she knows a little bit more than what you would expect. Go ahead and give you some more. I don't want to, because honestly, I could probably keep going and going. I really enjoyed it.
I on Okay, so well, I don't have a lot of good to be
Okay.
honest with you. I didn't really enjoy this. Um, it did not make me well. That's going to be my bad and ugly stuff. So anyway, a lot of the things that you were talking about that you liked, I didn't get it. Um, I will say this: I do like that. Uh, Despite that the TV shows are taking place during a time that you wouldn't have seen any diversity within characters, we do actually have that diversity in characters. It may seem like a small trite thing or no duh, but they could have easily justified not having any diversity within the Mind TV show.
Right.
Um, that having been said, the only other good thing that I got from all of this, we get the introduction of Sword.
Well, you kind of get that at. I forgot to put my lights on. Oh, that's too bright. I'm gonna cut them off. We kind of get that with in Far From Home. You know, you get that at the post credit scene.
This feels a little more like
Yeah.
we're going there. We're going to get this head on. This is gonna Sword is gonna be an integral part of this show, and I would say that that's probably the main thing that keeps me wanting to come back to it. If that wasn't in this, I would probably let my daughter watch it and her tell me if it was ever worth watching, if it ever got any better. Without the sword parts in there at the very end of sort of both episodes, I don't. Eh.
So I'll just get on my long list of things I enjoyed. I thought the commercials. I thought the commercials were great. The Stark
Eh,
Industry plug. I enjoyed that. It's corny, but it was
the
there.
the Strucker watch.
Yeah, the Strucker watch.
Yeah.
I like the music that they did. They actually have the team from that did the Disney's Frozen music. They actually did this, and they created unique music that fit the time frame of the show. So that was cool. The credits, I thought all of those things that had the elements of the older that time frame, which was done so much better than Wonder Woman 84. They failed on the true to time, you know, era period, that kind of stuff. And not that this is trying to compete, but it just happens to be a somewhat of a dated piece. The interesting thing was they actually had on the calendar 2023, even though it's taking place like it's in what, the 50s or the 60s. So that was interesting because it's still letting you know this is modern. Wanda's in modern day, and her mindset, it's still modern day because it's going on in her mind, and the calendar said 2023. But she's wanting a life like she saw in the TV shows, and that's why she's imitating the TV shows.
But isn't that what America's been? Never mind. We don't need to go political, I guess. Let's make it great again. Whatever. Just like
But
the old TV shows.
yeah, the I think the weird thing. Well, that'll go into the bad. Uh, I guess we'll go ahead and go into the good because we got about 10 minutes left. I mean the bad. So I'll just mention my my real only bad thing that I really didn't care for was that scene at the dinner table with the man choking and beating on the table and the woman saying, "Stop it, stop it, stop it." I didn't enjoy that. That was just really weird. It didn't feel in place. And I get like that's part of the malfunctioning of what's going on in Wanda's head. Like that didn't, it was something just not gearing right. And so
Okay.
she had to break kind of a break character, I guess, and make Vision
Hmm.
go and do a Vision type thing. And so that was kind of weird to me. But oh yeah, also thing I loved about it, it's corny,
See, I would say
corny.
that that's part of what I loved about it was that
Okay,
it broke the scene.
I actually, well, I didn't mind those like where she broke the fourth wall a couple times, and like the I Love Lucy and Deadpool. But the lobster at the end of that first episode when it was on the door, I thought that was great. I thought the part where the guest, the lady from that '70s show, the Vision's boss's wife, where she came up behind her and did the covering of the eyes, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was great. I told my wife this makes me want to go watch those old TV shows. Um, but anyway, man, let's go into the bad stuff. I know we're going to disagree with this series probably, but go ahead and go into to what you would consider bad.
Everything you just said.
So other things I liked about it you didn't like.
I mean, I was initially excited about the idea of having the old school TV show feel. I love old movies. I don't necessarily watch a whole lot of old TV shows because the campiness is just maybe a bit too much for me to stomach anymore. But I'm a huge Hitchcock fan anyway, and you know, it's I didn't laugh a single time. There wasn't even like the slightest bit of a glimmer of a smile that came across I didn't even hear my daughter laugh. Okay, I mean it was just so lame. It was epically bad. And the lobster, I mean, it went out the front door. What? Come on. I don't know. It seemed, and I get again that it's all about the mindset that she's dealing with and however she's coping with whatever she's coping with. Um and that'll kind of touch into what I would call my ugly. But the bad part is that I didn't laugh. I know that there were parts that they meant to have to make you chuckle at least, to be amusing, and there wasn't a single part of it that was amusing in that manner.
See, I think for me it was more like I laughed because I recognized it was the type of humor from that time period. It wasn't like it just made me laugh like just an organic laugh. It was like, oh, that's funny because I get it. They're connecting it with that time frame, that type of humor, that type of comedy. All of those things are the things that made me laugh. So I like chuckled. It wasn't like a laugh. It was a chuckle. I chuckled a few times.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
but it's like, and it's corny, and I love corny humor. That's just how I
Yes, you
am.
do.
And you don't enjoy corny humor as much as I do. So,
No, and more often than not, even when I make a corny reference or joke, it pains me to do so.
so that's our differences. That's why I probably enjoyed it a little bit more. And I'd say, well, we can kind of make some guesstimations afterward. But so let's go into what you thought was ugly because I didn't have anything ugly. My only bad was the table scene. But what would you say
Okay.
was your ugly from this?
So it took two, use whatever extra word you want to plug in there. It took too darn long to be able to get through these episodes. To get to any kind of like usefulness, anything that was like meat and potatoes, it took too long. It just drug on so long.
Okay,
You
I'll give
know,
you that. I'll give you that.
they're not going to do but like what, maybe 8-10 episodes,
Yeah,
and
I
they
think
just
it's
wasted two.
I think it's nine. I think it's nine.
Okay, but they
So
still just wasted 2 episodes. and have given us next to nothing.
Well,
And
she's got her enemy or the villain coming up. She's pregnant now, so you're going to have Wiccan and Speed, her kids, coming soon, and you have some interruptions in her mindset with the beekeeper coming out. That was confusing. That might have been one more bad thing, is I didn't get any clarity on that, but I know they'll pay that off later. But
well, and the voice asking her, Wanda, what's going on? What have they done to you? Whatever it was.
yeah,
And we don't really know who that voice is. It kind of sounds like Steve Rogers, maybe, but
yeah, it's
I,
hard to
you
tell.
know,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not clear. We know
it's
it's
not really
Sword.
definitive. Well,
Yeah,
and that's just it. Is that yeah? You you got to figure that it's Sword, unless Sword is somehow putting her in a position to keep her under, and that's a bad thing. Who knows?
yeah.
Um,
I think she's put herself under, and Sword, based on the trailers, Sword is thinking that someone else is doing it to her, but she's
right.
doing it to herself, and they're trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? We don't know exactly why they're coming to her at this point. Obviously, all the guesstimations are she's causing changes in reality, in the MCU reality, and so that's probably why they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Sure, sure.
So, do you have any?
So
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so the ugly is that it just it's way too long. It meanders far too much. And honestly, when I heard how long the episodes were, I was kind of like, oh man, I'm not going to get that much time. And then as the first episode was maybe not even halfway through, I was like, man, I feel like I need to get up and go do something. I'm just wasting my life away on this nonsensical, useless banter that's going on. Because again, it didn't give you anything,
Yeah.
except for okay, we've established the TV show mindset thing. All right, great, let's move on. And it was just anyway.
Yeah, it reminded me of a couple of the first Mandalorian episodes where the main story didn't go on. It was like
Right.
its own little thing. And so, yeah, I actually do agree. Episode one, I felt like I didn't get anything at all, except,
The very end.
yeah, the very, very end, which, by the way, I've seen some guesses that that's Darcy from Thor because she's a character in this WandaVision series. And so she's
Okay.
probably working with Sword, and she's probably watching. Somehow they're having the footage of what Wanda's seeing in that monitor. And so
Right.
some people are saying they think that's probably Darcy, and she's having to watch all of these things going on in Wanda's head, which is interesting. And we haven't seen anybody else from the MCU other than
I
WandaVision.
pity her for having to watch it, because if it pained me to watch it no more than I did, I mean, geez, she's got to
Yeah.
be like suicidal by this point in time. Oh God, please take my life, take my life.
Well, I promise you this: you don't have to continue watching it, and I know you won't. I'll continue watching it, and I'll let you know when it starts to get interesting to where you need to watch it. So, because
Oh no,
eventually, oh, okay, your daughter's going to do that.
my daughter's gonna make me watch it. So,
Oh, she's going to make you watch all of it.
oh yeah, you know that.
Okay, just put your earbuds in and listen to some Fit for a King. Um,
Something.
so, do you have any? We got about a minute left. Do you have any guesstimations or predictions for the show? Hopeful predictions.
No, I think it's
No.
gonna be an epic fail.
So I think it's obviously Doctor Strange is going to pop in somehow because this is going to spill over into Multiverse of Madness. So I think at some point Doctor Strange, he's probably going to show up in a post-credit scene on the very last episode. I think we're going to get a better idea of what's going on with Sword. I don't know if we'll see Nick Fury or not, but we're going to see Marie or Monica Rambeau. So she's probably working with Sword, and she's from the Captain Marvel film.
Well, and I think actually the neighbor that you said was, or not the neighbor, but the African American woman that's in
Yeah.
the magic trick is Monica Rambeau.
That's who I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. But so I think it might be. It might be. And overall, I enjoyed it. You didn't enjoy it. So this is one where we definitely disagree. It's definitely unlike anything else in the MCU. So if you're watching this review, you know, I mean, most people probably wouldn't watch it because it's spoiler. But if you haven't seen it yet and you get to this point, I would say don't expect anything that you've seen in the MCU to work in this show because right as of right now, it's nothing like those. If you enjoyed the old TV shows like I Love Lucy, Bewitched, things like that, and it's going to progressively change. It's going to become like Roseanne and Full House, what else? Brady Bunch, stuff like that. It's going to progress because they're going to try to age up the kids. They're trying to get her kids, Wiccan and Speed, the twins, to get older. That way, in the next, New Avengers or Avengers 5 or whatever they're going to be in, this is their way of doing that. And then at the end of it, we're going to see mutants probably for the first time because I guarantee she's going to do the more mutants instead of no more mutants from the House of M comic story. And so, yeah, man, I think this is the introduction of mutants. So, Shawn, you should be happy with that because we're probably finally going to get a X-Men or a Wolverine or something like that sometime coming up soon, hopefully. So,
I don't know. I don't have any high expectations right now. They've set the bar pretty low.
all right, man. Well, it's only up from here then. So, all right, everybody, let us know what you think in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you just not going to watch it? Just let us know whatever's going on with y'all. And we'll be back with the regular show pretty soon. So stay tuned and see you soon.